Sometimes having an outdated or improperly prepared estate plan is worse than having no estate plan. Let me explain what I mean by that. Let's say that you were married and you and your spouse went and got an estate plan, and it was a good estate plan for you at that time. And you worked with an estate planning lawyer, and that lawyer said, and make sure that on your 401k you have the right beneficiary designation, meaning that it pays to each other, because that's what you wanted. And then you and your spouse divorce. At that point in time, what happens if you should die? Will your will still control and say that everything goes to this divorced spouse? I think it depends on the state that you live in. In Washington, we do have a statute that says if you're divorced, the statute takes over and says, we don't really think you wanted it to go to that divorced spouse, so we'll act as if that divorced spouse predeceased you, died before you, and then it'll go to your alternate beneficiaries. So that helps with an outdated will in Washington. But what about that 401k? That 401k is not controlled by your will, is not controlled by Washington law, it's controlled by federal law. And the federal law says that your 401k goes to whomever you've designated on your beneficiary designation. And after your divorce, you didn't change the beneficiary designation. You left it as is, probably because you weren't even thinking about that, and you hadn't gone back to a lawyer, and it wasn't brought to your attention by anyone, and you just didn't think about it. So on your death, what happens? Your ex-spouse gets your 401k, which could be the largest part of your estate. And most people don't want that result. The lesson here is if you have divorced, you need to update your estate plan, and don't forget to think about your non-probate assets, those that don't pass under your will. So if you're doing your estate plan yourself with online forms, where you're not working with an estate planning lawyer, it is really easy to forget about the fact that some assets don't go under your will. They go by way of beneficiary designation, and those assets are very, very important to address to make sure your estate plan works the way you want it to.